solve for x. So you guys love this question. You guys say x equal to 15 minus 5 equal to 10, correct? Now let's have another question. Now we're going to solve for this x. We have x, so we have a triangle, and the triangle is a right triangle. Good. So how do we solve for x? We use Pythagorean theorem. So what do we know about triangle? We know if this is A, that's B, and this is C. If you add all the angles, you will get 180 degrees, correct? Because it's a right triangle, we have x squared plus 3 squared equal to 5 squared. We apply Pythagorean theorem. So x squared plus 9 equal to 25. X squared equal to 25 minus 9 equal to 16. Then x gonna be 4. I'm not gonna put plus minus 4 because this is a length, never gonna be negative. All right. Let's move to the next question. So now let's solve for x. So you guys gonna see the x, not in the equation, you're gonna see x part of the triangle. We don't have a right triangle, but they're asking us what is the measure of this angle. We know if you add them, 110 degrees plus 40 degrees plus x equal to 180 degrees, then we have 150, wow, 150 plus x equal to 180, then x going to be 180 minus 150 equal to 30 degrees. So x gonna be 30 degrees. All right. A little more coffee. What about this one? Now we're going to solve for x. So as you see, we're getting a little more complicated compared with the previous example. Here we have a right triangle, and they're asking us what is x. If you write the Pythagorean theorem, x squared plus x squared equal to 4 squared. So this is x, that's one of the leg. There's another x, one of the leg of the right triangle. X squared plus x squared equal to 2x squared equal to 4 squared. We have 2x squared equal to 16. X squared equal to 16 divided by 2 equal to 8. So x squared equal to 8, then x will be radical 8, which is 2 root 2. So this is going to be 2 root 2, and this is going to be 2 root 2. all right? Y radical 8 is 2 root 2. You can get this one. We have, so radical 8 is same as radical 4 times 2 equal to radical 4 times radical 2 equal to 2 root 2, correct? Radical 4 is perfect squared, is 2. Any question here?
No.
Okay.
It looks straightforward.
Thank you, Oswald. Yeah, I mean, so far, but Tony, Brian. All right, so let's make it a little spicy. So now we have, we're gonna solve. Now I'm gonna ask you guys, solve for C here. What is measure of this C in degrees? Also, I'm going to ask you guys, what is B and what is C? Any idea?
We will use the Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah. Let's see. Is Brian here? Not Brian Chevis, no. Another Brian. Brian Hangsen. We don't have a Hangsen. All right. So Osvaldo, you said Pythagorean theorem. Definitely, I mean, good try, but Pythagorean theorem, we only apply to the right triangle. Right triangle means here should be 90 degrees. If it's 90 degrees, then there is a relation between A, B, C. We have A squared plus B squared equal to C squared. We can apply this formula, correct? If our triangle is not 90 degree, doesn't have a 90 degree, so this Pythagorean theorem is not useful. So how do we solve? So in the new set of homework that you're gonna see it soon, they're gonna ask you guys solve the triangle. That means you need to solve everything about triangle. Everything means we have the A. This is, we have this length. We are okay with it. We have this measure 45, we okay, and we have this measure. What we don't have this C, the measure of this C, and also this length, also length of B. And we cannot use the Pythagorean theorem. So what about the measure of C? How do we find this measure? Do we need any formula?
I think so, yes.
What is that as well? Thanks for participating
I,
as well. Thanks for nobody else.
I'm not sure yet. Sorry about that.
Okay. So what's happening, inside of the triangle, all the angles, if you add them, we should get 180 degrees. So 30 degrees plus 45 degrees plus C equal to 180 degrees. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is 75 degrees plus C equal to 180. Then C will be 180 degree minus 75 degrees, which is 105. So C will be 105. Good. So this is 105 degrees. Wake up, guys. It's not that early. So now how do we solve for B and C? We know A is 32 centimeter. So this A is 32 centimeter. And the Pythagorean theorem is out. We cannot use this. Very good. That's good that you don't know. The formula is, so first we try to use Pythagorean theorem, but Pythagorean theorem only applies to right triangle. In question like this, there are two sets of formulas. One of them, they call it law of sine. So law of sine, okay. So law of sine. Law. Law of sine tells us that sine of A, sine of this angle, divided by the side front of it. So sine of A over A equal to sine of B over B, sine of this angle divided by that, equal to sine of this angle divided by this side. There is a very easy proof for this, but we're gonna see if we can apply this formula to solve that triangle. Back to, oops. Back to this triangle. So I can write sine of 30 degree. Look at sine of this angle divided by the side, with the length front of that, divided by 32 degrees, divided by 32 centimeter. This is equivalent to sine of 45 divided by b, correct? So there are two equal sign here, but when we try to use it, we're going to use two at a time. We're going to use this two, or this two, or this two. So I wrote the equation here that we have only one unknown. Are you guys following me with this?
Yes.
So now we have to solve for this b. So if you cross multiply, we're going to have, so cross multiply this times that, this times this, we're going to get b sine of 30 degrees equal to 32 sine of 45. Then divided by sine of 30, then b equal to 32 sine of 45 divided by sine of 30 degrees. So we're going to be 32 multiplied by root 2 over 2 divided by 1/2. Sine of 30 degrees is 1/2. Sine of 45 is root 2 over 2. If we cancel this 2, b will be equal to 32 radical 2. So with odd law of sine, we were not able to solve this. So you learn a new formula. This formula is going to be your note sheet. When you see questions solve the triangle, first you look at if the triangle is a right triangle, if it has a 90 degree. If it has a 90 degree, it's great, use Pythagorean theorem. If not, you will look into law of sine. So now we solve for b, this is done. What about c now? How do we solve for c?
We apply the same thing for when we did
Very nice.
sine.
Yeah, we need to apply law of sine because we cannot use Pythagorean theorem. So we're going to say sine of c divided by c. So we're going to say sine of 105 degree divided by c equal to, so now we have an option. You can say sine of 30 divided by 32, or we're going to say sine of 45 divided by b. I would pick sine of 30 divided by 32. Correct. Now if you want to solve this, going to go to the new layer. So I'm going to go to the, so we had sine of 105 divided by c equal to sine of 30 degree divided by 32. Cross multiply this times that equal to that times that. So we have c sine of 30 degrees equal to 32 sine of 105. Then c will be equal to 32 sine of 105 degree divided by sine of 30 degrees. Can you guys tell me what is C? What is C? So 105 that we have problem, that's why I'm asking you guys to solve. So 32 multiplied by sine of 30 is 1/2. What is sine of 105? I'm going to use my calculator. I mean, sine of 105. What is that? 0.96. Correct?
Yeah.
Use the calculator 0.9. So I'm going to put this one over here. Now, if you multiply, so 32 times 0.96 divided by 25. So it gives us around 61.44, approximately. Good.
Yes.
Rick, do you have any question?
No, sir, not right now. Fine.
Very good. Jake?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure what you have a question or not? Or does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, this chapter is like a fun. I mean, you solving something that you weren't able to solve it before. Let's have another example. Let's say we have a 3 here. And you are standing right there. With the camera, you can measure this is 23 degrees. This guy is 96 degrees. And you are looking for height of the tree. You also can measure from here to there, which is 30 meters. So definitely we cannot climb the tree and put the tape measure from top to bottom to measure the tree. But we are able to look at the top of the tree by a camera, and the camera gives us the degree 23. You're also able to measure from the bottom of the tree to the place that you're standing. This is 30 degrees. We also can measure this angle, but we are looking for this height, h. So you might see in your homework and final exam, there's some pictures like this. So your job is to translate this picture to a triangle. So I'm going to make a triangle. This is 23 degrees. This is H. This is 30. That's 96 degree. Can I use Pythagorean theorem? No, correct? Pythagorean, I mean, this is 96 degree. You wish we had 90 degree. If we had 90 degree, life was much easier. So because it's not the right triangle, we have one formula, which is law of sine. Law of sine said for any triangle, any type of triangle, if this is A, the side front of it is lowercase a, I'm going to call this one B. I mean, the uppercase A, I mean, that's A and B are referring to the angle. The lowercase b is the length of the side. This is C, and this is going to be C. Law of sine said sine of this angle A divided by the side A equal to sine of B divided by B equal to sine of C over C. So we have this expensive, fancy formula. Let's see if we can apply it and solve. So law of sine said, I can, so again, here there are three fractions, correct? But when you try to solve, you cannot use all three at the same time. Doesn't make sense. You need to get two of them and solve. I mean, any two that you will have only one unknown. So I'm going to call this like C. Can I write sine of 23 degree divided by H equal to sine of 96 degree over, I'm going to call this one K. Can I solve for H here? I mean, we have one equation, but we have two unknown. K is unknown, also H is unknown. So that's not going to work. What about sine of 23 degree divided by H equal to sine of C over 30 degrees? Sine of this over this side. Can I do that?
Yes.
But there are two unknown here. H we are looking for. Also C we have no idea. Do you know what C is?
No, we don't.
Can we find it?
No.
Let's see. I mean, if let's. So this C looks like we have this one 23 and this is 96. So we should be able to solve for C. Correct? If you add them up is 180. So C is easy to find. That means C plus 23 degree plus 96 degree equal to 180 degree. If you add them, 119, correct? The 119, correct? 9 equal to 180 degree. Then C will be 180 minus 119, which is 61 degree. So C will be 61 degree. So instead of this C, I can put 61 degree. Now we can solve for H. Now we can say this times that equal to the other two. We're going to say h multiplied by sine of 61 degree equal to 30 multiplied by sine of 23 degrees divided by sine of 61 divided by sine of 61. H, the height of 3 will be equal to 30 multiplied by sine of 23 over sine of 61. Most of the question in exam or homework on this chapter will asking you guys round it to 2 or 3 decimal places. In chapter 3 that you already passed through it, you passed the most difficult chapter in your life or in your trigonometry. They used to ask you guys find the exact. You saw exact, the word exact a lot. Find the exact value, exact value. But for this chapter, then most of them, 95%, they ask you round it. That means you're gonna use your calculator. So you're gonna use your calculator and answer this one. Make sure you're using it correctly. So this, you're gonna say sine of 23 times 30 degree, 30 divided by sine of 61. So should I do it? Let's see, 9:15. I have an appointment at 9:30. So you should be able to multiply this. Did you do that, Oswaldo? Did you multiply this?
Oh, not yet. I haven't.
But this is a calculator, correct?
Yeah.
Professor,
Yes.
I got 13.4.
13. Thank you, Reed. I believe you. 13.4. Okay. 13 meter. Wow. This multiplication, you need to make sure you're not, I mean, don't put all of them in one line in calculator. 30 multiplied by sine of 23. The answer divided by sine of 61. Let's have one more. And then I let you guys go. So we have A, B, and C. This is going to be lowercase a, this is going to be lowercase b, this is going to be lowercase c. C equal to 12 meter. Angle A equal to 25 degrees. And the question is, and we have also B equal to 9 meter. Now the question is solve. So solve the triangle. That means you need to give me, you have to solve everything about triangle. You need to tell me what is C, what is A, what is this B? All right. Can we use Pythagorean theorem to solve for A?
No, we cannot.
Very good. This is great. You cannot use Pythagorean because this is not 90 degree, and you cannot assume C is 90. No. You use Pythagorean theorem if you're gonna see a right triangle like this. So if, okay. kind of sleepy. I was awake till 4 a.m. last night, but coffee makes me a little rolling. So Pythagorean is out. Can we use law of sine? After Pythagorean, we have law of sine. Let's write law of sine. Law of sine said sine of, I'm going to say 25, correct? Divided by the side front of it, a, equal to like sine of c divided by 12. This one of them we can write. Good. With this equation, can I solve a or c? We have one equation, but we have two unknowns. C is unknown. Also, A is unknown. So that's not a good equation. We cannot solve it. All right. Let's pick another two. What about sine of 25 over A equal to sine of B over 9? Again, we have two unknown. Or just write sine of C over 12. This is law of sine for this triangle. Any two equation you pick, there are two unknowns. That means law of sine doesn't work. So how do we solve it? The good news is we have law of cosine. So there is a law of cosine or cosines. Law of cosine said, so for if we have a triangle, for any type of triangle, this is A, B, C, this is A, that's B, this is C. They said BA squared equal to A squared plus C squared, almost same as Pythagorean, but minus 2AC cosine of B. I know it's uglier than law of sine, but that's the law of cosine. So what does it mean? That means if you pick this side, if you square it, it will be equal to squaring and adding to other side minus 2 times A times C cosine of B. Because we are using cosine, that's why they call it cosine, law of cosine. And you can write for other length as well. If you pick this, C, so C squared equal to B squared plus A squared minus 2BC cosine of C. So this cosine related to this one. This B related to this one. Also, A squared equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine of A. So this is the law of cosine. I mean, somebody proved this, and the proof is not that complicated. But for now, we use a formula. So now we have law of cosine. And the good news is we don't have law of tangent or law of cotangent. What does it mean? That means you know Pythagorean theorem, you know law of sine, you know law of cosine. You can solve any type of triangle in chapter 4 in your exam and homework. Another good news is that if you want to be famous, try to come up with law of tangent and law of cotangent. All right, so let's see if we can use law of cosine in this question. So law of cosine said if I pick this side, correct? If I use a squared, will be equal to b squared plus c squared, that we have it. We have this tooling, minus 2 times b times c times cosine of 25. So a squared equal to 9 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 9 times 12 cosine of 25. 81 plus 144 minus, I have to do some cheating here. So we have 2 times 9 times 12 is 216 cosine of 25. 81 plus 144 is 225 minus 216 cosine of 25. Here is super important, guys. Maybe I add them, put it here. There's a minus, there's a multiplication. You need to do this part first before subtracting from 225. So we have 225 minus 216 multiplied by cosine of 25, which is 0.906, for example. In homework, if they're going to tell you how many decimal to round, so I am rounding to 3 decimal places. So this multiplied by, no. So 216 multiplied by 0.906. This gives us 195.696. I'm going to subtract 225 minus 195.696. This gives me 29.30, for example. So this is a squared. We are looking, this is a squared. We're looking for a. So a will be equal to radical that. So radical 29.30, approximately 5.41. True. So we solve for a. This a become 5.412. There was a lot of algebra, but we use one of the famous formula, law of cosine. So your job is to, in order to solve, you need to know what formula to use. First, we're going to apply Pythagorean. We're going to go through if we can use a Pythagorean. So no. Then we're going to apply law of sine, because law of sine is much easier, as you can see. If law of sine doesn't work, then we go with law of cosine. If law of cosine doesn't work, you get the ruler and measure it. I mean, one of them should work. So now that we have A, how do we solve for B?
Same process with.
We're gonna, okay, but so we try to don't use law of, we try to don't use law of cosine because it's too much algebra. I mean, now if you see the law of sine, now we can use law of sine because we can say sine of 25 divided by 5.412 equal to sine of c divided by 12. Correct? So we can apply law of sine. If you use law of cosine, that's fine, but law of sine works. I mean, instead of this A, I can put 12, I can put 5.412. Good. Then you will solve for sine of b. Let me see what's happening at home. Cool. So let's see. So I'm gonna copy this one. We have so I'm going to use law of sine. I'm going to say sine of 25 divided by 5.412 equal to sine of b divided by 9. Cross multiply. We have sine of b times 5.412 equal to 9 times sine of 25. Then sine of b equal to 9 times sine of 25 divided by 5.412. Correct? How do I solve for b here?
We enter the calculator 9 sine 25 first,
Okay.
and then right after it will be 5.412.
Okay, so we have sine of b equal to 9. What is sine of 25? Is 0.40, 0.42 divided by 5.412. So 9 multiplied by 0.42 equal 3.78 divided by 5.412. So this gives me 0.70. So what is b? Sine of b equal to 0.70. What is b?
Else, I don't know actually.
Anybody? How do we solve for b? B will be sine inverse of 0.70. Correct? In order to get the angle, we use the inverse. Correct?
Yeah.
So do I have R? What is sine inverse of 0.70? Can you guys do it for me?
It will be 0.64.
No, sine inverse of 0.70.
Okay.
Can you make sure it's a degree?
Yeah.
What is that?
Wait. Check right now.
Read, what is that?
I got 0.775.
0.775?
That's what I got.
The sine inverse of 0.70. Is that in degree or radiant?
I think it's in the degree.
That's too good to be true. Sine R.
Oh, that's in radian.
Yeah, 0.77 is in radian. Give me in degree.
Yeah.
Use the
In
more.
degrees, 44.42.
I know. Say again.
44.427.
So this 40, let's say 44. So this gonna be the point B here, correct? The angle B. So how do we solve? So we solve for this, 44. How do we solve for C? Rate, since you are on, how do we solve for C?
Well, you're gonna. I don't know. I'm a little bit lost at this point. At the
No, I
moment.
mean, that's good. I mean, I know you guys are scared of the law of cosine. So we start with law of cosine, then we went to law of sine. We solved two things. So we're going to solve for C. If you add all the angles, you're going to get 180. So C going to be, I mean, C plus 25 degree plus 44.427 should be
Okay.
180 degree. So life will be much easier when you start, I mean, when you solve one, the next step going to be easier. In the last step, you just subtract them from 180. Correct?
Yep.
So we don't need to use law of sine. If you're going to use law of sine, is good, but if somebody pay you, do that, because it's an easy way to subtract from 180. Right? So you're going to say 180 minus 25 minus 44.427. So C going to be 110.573. And you're done with this question. I know the way I wrote it is scary, but so that's the entire. There's a couple more formula for the area, but basically law of sine and law of cosine will be what you need to apply for the, you need to learn in chapter 4.